happy MLK Day to each and every one of you. Yes, yesterday was MLK Day, but I'm coming today to speak to you guys. Mitch McConnell will convict Donald Trump of the impeachment. Once there's a good enough case, I think he's going to convict him. And there's sufficient evidence for the impeachable case or the impeachment of inciting to violence, inciting an insurrection. Notice not using insightful speech, but inciting an insurrection. I do believe there is sufficient case for that. From the supporters of Trump saying that they believe he was ordering them to do X, Y, and Z, to the situation, the lies that he also propagated and certain other members propagated. We see that there actually was a congresswoman in Bobbitt who was giving tours to Trumpers the day before the insurrection, before the domestic terrorist coup attempt. So she was on board. I remember her mentioning something like that in the congressional session, actually. And she wasn't supposed to do it because COVID-19, you're not supposed to be conducting tours. So, and she was also, another bit of incriminating evidence against her was the fact that she was reporting the location of the congressmen and senators. She was reporting where they were. And she was also reporting when the speaker left that area, protected area. So she definitely is involved, and she's probably going to get, it's probably going to get pretty dicey for her. She was tweeting it out, I believe, something like that. However, some of this stuff was going on in the news, except people didn't know exactly where these people were located. But I believe Mitch McConnell will convict, along with he was the former leader. He's going to be the minority leader of the Republican senators. And I do believe he will look for every opportunity to convict Donald Trump, but he will be fair. So he'll watch to see, obviously, what is the defense. I believe a very highly esteemed professor who defended Donald Trump's last impeachment will be there to state a defense for Donald Trump. But there's tremendous evidence. And remember, the Senate is different to a criminal court of law in the sense that in the Senate, they make their own rules. And also, what really matters is the political opinion. It is the political environment that I think, matters. It's the optics. So I think the average person, the majority of people believe that Donald Trump he played a part. I think 50-something% believe he played a significant part. But as the more information that comes out, it shows that he was really connected to this thing, and that there were a bunch of people around him connected to this thing. And we're talking congressmen and attorney generals of certain states. And we also see that it was a network of people, that had a coordinated sort of attack and approach to things. And that is not good. And I'm pretty sure as the Department of Justice finds out more information, because I do believe that this impeachment trial is going to go on for a couple months. Well, so as more information comes out about this issue, it's going to get more and more diabolical. And as it gets more and more diabolical, we know quite a lot already, and it doesn't look good for any one of these people. And the fact that Trump has a history of violence in his rallies, you know, there's always these violent things that happen in the rallies. I don't think that helps him or benefits him. So when they look at the thing in its totality, and then the lies, the fact that this whole thing came off of a lie, if he didn't speak about a lie, this wouldn't even happen. So the lie obviously incited people to action where there shouldn't have been action. And Donald Trump never tried, ever, to calm down the people during that space of time before the insurrection. So if you look at the whole situation, and then after the insurrection, immediately after, during the insurrection, he was disappointed with Mike Pence and he was calling him X, Y, and Z. And then after the insurrection, I think it was still during the insurrection, he was talking about peace, but he never uh, he never spoke negatively about the people who were committing coup. He called them special, in fact. And then several days later, he did not condone the violence, and then he disowned the very people who thought they were being loyal to him, and said, he has nothing to do with that, and it's just terrible. It's like he's throwing the people who, you know, thought that he was instructing them to do X, Y, and Z under the bus. So this is what it is. But I do believe Mitch McConnell and a significant portion of the Senate, because the Senate has supported the Senate by and large, almost all the senators, um, you know, supported the certification of electoral votes. In the Senate, it was just, I think, 8 people, I think, in all, who did not agree out of that 100 plus senators. So that's significant. So I do believe Mitch McConnell has enough senators there that will support him, more than 17. I think they just need 17 to convict. I believe they're going to convict Donald Trump when all is said and done, especially with all this evidence that's coming out there. I truly believe they're going to convict him. And Mitch McConnell is a guy that's a reasonable guy. I remember saying that Donald Trump has legal means. He can go through all legal challenges to challenge the election. And Mitch McConnell was the first guy to say, yeah, well, let Donald Trump play out all his options. And he was very fair and realistic. But then he came onto the Senate floor, and he let the thing play out. And then he went on to say, congratulate Joe Biden. I think that was last year, somewhere around last year. He congratulated Joe Biden, I believe, before the counting of the electoral votes. I believe after the GSA actually acknowledged that Joe Biden was the president elect, he congratulated him after that. And then from there on in, uh, he is continuously, Mitch McConnell, being consistent on what he's been saying. So in private, he said, that he thought that Donald Trump had done an impeachable offense and that he should be impeached, which happened. And now I do believe he's going to convict him. But it's based on the defense, and it's based on the evidence that is presented forward. I think he will go through that pathway and see if it's impeachable. And I think he will encourage all senators to think their minds, but I think he'll say certain words to allow these senators to bear certain things in mind, because I believe the Senate is different to the Congress. I think Congress has a couple freshmen in there, and so on. But the Senate, I think, is going to convict Donald Trump of, uh, of inciting to violence. I do believe that's what's going to go down when all is said and done. This thing might take about a month, maybe a month and a half, maybe even 2 months, for them to amass all the information, debate, whatever. But I do think that by the end of 2 months, around March this time, so February, March, around February, March, Donald Trump will be convicted of impeachment, and then I guess they'll proceed to. I think they'll proceed to strip him of having any chance in politics of going back in and doing anything. And I do believe also they're going to look at possibly stripping him of his presidential, you know, perks that he has. particularly to also ensure that he doesn't get to classified information. So I think all of that's important. Why he needs to be impeached, because he's still a national security risk, seeing that he would be briefed, and several other things. And also, mind you, the young lady who took uh, 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 Congress Lady Pelosi's uh, computer, the laptop. I was trying to get it delivered to Russia, which is terrible. So it shows that there are a lot of people inside of that Trumpian circle who have connections to Russia or think of having connections to Russia. I don't know what it is, but these people are not whoever these people are, they're not safe to be around. Okay. Now, having said that, there are a lot of Trumpers out there that I just want to say I congratulate you on not being violent. I congratulate you on, um, whether you hold an opinion of Trump winning the election or not, you did not resort to violence. And I congratulate you on that. Now we need to work together. And hopefully, in time, you will realize that he actually did lose the election, that he was lying to you. Some of you are already coming to that realization. Some of you will not acknowledge it because he has not acknowledged that he lost, even and did not acknowledge that he lied. But Mitch McConnell has actually, in a public statement, said that this was misinformation, it was lies, and that Donald Trump did provoke those people to do what they did. And a part of incitement is when you fuel the fire by creating a narrative that is false. And so that's why I said when it comes to the word incitement, this has been going on for a while. He has been inciting them and stirring them up. And that's why they are under this illusion that, or not illusion, that he ordered them, specifically ordered them to go take over. Several people are saying this. This is why they're asking for pardons. I personally think that Republicans and Democrats, we're going to work together. I think the country's going to come together. I really truly believe that. But first, the country needs to get through this period, this window here, this tricky time post election. Joe Biden being elected, Joe Biden going and starting to take on the tasks that are at hand. It was really nice to see Joe. Joe is such to me, a very fatherly figure, a very sort of calm, more peaceful, loving, sort of peaceful person. And I personally think he's going to bring a calming presence to the world. I think as a figurehead. Remember, Joe doesn't run the show, right? He has an agenda, but he doesn't run the show. Again, it's Congress and the Senate that really do most of the work. Joe just kind of tries to put some ideas out there. He gets the people in the positions where they can carry out certain agendas that will be along certain lines. So you have to understand that, Joe is just a figurehead. It's just a symbolic figurehead. And people don't realize the President of the United States, while he has an agenda and he has a manifesto that he carries out, is not the be all and end all. And a lot of you guys are going to breathe a sigh of relief when you realize that, presidential people, and Barack Obama spoke about this, and, you know, the office was never there to flex your muscles. It was there where necessary, use certain things where the state needs to use them. So gotta make it through tomorrow. There are still people coming out to protest, but basically most of the thing has been quelled. Donald Trump had spoken to the Proud Boys and so on. The Proud Boys decided they're laying back because I'm gonna tell you this. as my brother said, I just found a new brother, a new channel, brother who's from the countryside, a really cool dude. You really should check out his channel. I forgot his name, but don't worry, I'll get his name for you guys. But he said that place is like it's freaking like a fortress right now. Shit. It's fortified. So DC is locked down right now. Locked down. Not a good thing necessarily, but necessary, hopefully it will be, they will unlock it in time. I wanted to just put a couple suggestions to Joe Biden and to his establishment. I know he probably has this all in lockdown, but there's technology out there now to secure your borders with. You don't have to have manpower and people manning everything. You could have one or two guys out there in a jeep or whatever. But here's what I mean. I mean, you got technology. You got drones. You got drones. So use your drones. And your drones would identify whoever, uh, and then you know where the location of the drone is, and then you're able to be pinpoint accurate in dealing with the threat. Border protection is based on policy. What I mean by this is a lot of people desire to get into America. They did a lot to try and cross the borders, whatever, to get into America. But what you need to do to stop a surge to America is ensure that whatever things are in Mexico, whatever things in Nicaragua, or ensure whatever things in the other parts of the world are settled so that you can handle the situation. Poopy Sister says, do you think Biden will make it through his term health wise? Yeah, sure. He's getting the best possible care you will ever get. Once you get into the White House, you get the best possible care. I think that he'll make it through his term. I don't know if he'll be able to make a second term. He looks like a Ronald Reagan kind of guy in the sense that he'll need the best possible health care to preserve him. He is old. He's probably the oldest president to ever take office. So all of these things are factors. But the good news is that he's a figurehead. What I mean by that is, even though he has certain policies and so on that he has to push, um, more or less, there are other people who will do that for him. So that's the beauty of a president. Once you delegate, and you set up your cabinet and you delegate what it's really other people doing the stuff. It's not really you. You get credit for it, but you're not really doing the stuff. You're just delegating the work. Yes, the buck stops with you. Yes, you need to know what everybody's doing and who's doing what. But at the end of the day, and even though the tough decisions come back to you, you're like the final, so you have to be aware of it. But at the same time, it's not as tough as if you were doing all that hard work yourself. Actually, he had a tougher task being the vice president than he did being the president, because the vice president is the one who really carries out. He's the foot soldier. And the fact that he has that vice presidential experience really works in his favor. That's why he's such a calming presence, because when Barack Obama came into governance, they had a similar turmoil. It was like turmoil in the economy. Remember the housing issues? There was turmoil offshore with the oil spills. It was turmoil in terms of people being beaten up and stuff. And then it was a hyper police state. You remember when they had like militarized police and there was this military stuff everywhere and there was Humvees all over the place? And he sort of de-escalated it on Barack Obama. He was the foot soldier doing all the hard work and trying to convince people in Congress and in the Senate, to sway them. And he was doing a lot of work. This time around, Joe's going to have it as tough, but he's not going to be the one who's the foot soldier all the time, even though he'll give Kamala Harris some good advice so that she can learn how to be diplomatic and liaise with different people, form relationships with different people to get them to see the full picture and how it benefits them, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And Mitch McConnell is a very experienced senator. And then Joe Biden, Mitch and Biden, they get along pretty well, believe it or not. So I can see Biden working along with Mitch McConnell. As strange as this sounds, I think that's the best relationship you could ever have between the the head of the opposition in the Senate and a president. I'm telling you, man, this thing's going to work out between Mitch McConnell and Joe Biden. They're both going to mutually benefit from this. Okay, and people are going to be shocked because the Republican Party is going to get a lot of pluses for Mitch's contributions to certain things, and certain things Mitch is going to have an advantage over Joe Biden. Joe Biden may have to rescind or change his idea or work along with Mitch. But I'm telling you, Biden and Mitch, they're going to work. They're going to work it. They're going to work it, and you guys will be surprised. And the Republican Party is going to it's going to do well because again, all we need. I wish people would just understand this. The Republican Party has so much to offer. It has a lot to offer. But going down these whack-a-mole trails and and crazy talk is just not going to help the situation. I mean, pure crazy talk and pure destructive behavior for the most part. There's a lot of constructive things under the Trump administration that happened, but the destructive things, man, it just was terrible. Like, you destroyed the morale of the FBI, attacked James Comey, destroyed the morale of the FBI, destroyed the CIA. He just destroyed a lot of things by his rhetoric. The figurehead destroyed. He had some good people working under him, but terrible figurehead, horrific figurehead. So, at least they didn't blow up the Capitol like Lex Luthor. Hey, bro, let's keep our fingers crossed. Knock on wood on that one. Okay, knock on wood on that one. Don't talk so fast. The problem with Donald Trump is he brought a lot of instability and just, oh my God, so much chaos and just divisiveness and just vitriol. And the country didn't need that. You know, I was just watching an F-18 fighter jet pilot flying an F-18. Fun to watch. I definitely don't want to be in the plane with him for several reasons, the G-force and whatever. And America is such a fantastic place. It's got so much diversity to it, and it's not just white and black. There's all these shades of gray, like I said before. But unfortunately, certain. And let me just say this. Let me say one more thing because I crossed 20 minutes already, so this is gonna. I didn't plan to have this long, but let me just say this. Donald Trump showed people how vital and how important democracy is. Think about it. If these people had overthrown the government, of course, tomorrow anyway, the change of government, Joe Biden would be president anyway. It wouldn't stop anything. But here's the thing. If he had overthrown the government, and just imagine, he thinks he's now a Führer like Hitler. People can't say anything anywhere around the world that's against him without him targeting those people and getting them killed. There would be no freedom of speech. There would be no freedom in democracies all over the world. Would be overthrown. It would have been a horrific thing if that thing had been successful. And that's how serious it is. That's why January 6, 2020 will be remembered in infamy. But praise God, January the 13th of 2020 was the response to that. And it was a very quick response. And hopefully they convict him. I hope to God the Senate convicts him. And then he gets, penalized for that, and he never enters politics again, and he's stripped of all his presidential perks that he's supposed to get, including access to sensitive classified information. I hope that happens to him because Donald Trump is a danger. He's a clear and present danger. Even now, as he has left the White House, he has been a clear and present danger. Okay? Even as he's gone to Mar-a-Lago or wherever he's going to, he's a clear and present danger. That's how dangerous this guy is. And, from aligning himself with the Proud Boys by saying, stand back, whatever it is, whatever he said, stand by, stand by, stand back and stand by. He told them that, listen, man, this dude, he's going to have a lot of, legal cases against him as well on the state level. But this dude, man, he's just horrific. He's horrific. He's horrific. And so the more they can contain him, the more they can remove him from society and just remove him completely from the political process, the better. But America doesn't want anything to do with this dude. With respect to censorship, yeah, this dude needed to be censored, period. And I'm happy that he was impeached. I thought that was the strongest measure that any political party or government could do, other than going into legal things with the Department of Justice, which wasn't going to happen under Trump. But now that there will be a new Department of Justice, they should look into the case and see how far it leads, and if it leads back to him, fine. But he needs to be fully, completely convicted of the impeachable offense, the impeached offense, sorry. And then after that, he needs to be stripped of all his political powers, all, from from and all the perks that go with being a president. He's stripped of it. Period. And I believe the majority of American people feel the same way I do. And I'm not even from America. So, and they must, a clear message must be sent. This is just not tolerated in America. And they need to facts matter. And as a politician, if you're going to lie to people, make sure that you have verifiable facts at least. You know what I mean? So this must never happen again. And then all the people who are involved with him, they also should be action should be taken on them. They should not be representing these people. The Josh Hawleys, the Ted Cruzes, I forgot what the name of the young lady is who seemed to have been part of this coup attempt. So I'm just saying, this is not no game, okay? And the fact that Donald Trump is throwing his own supporters under the bus to save his own hide tells us just this guy has no morals. He has no moral values. He has no allegiances. He has no loyalty to anyone, and therefore, um, you know, get him out of there. Like, get him completely out of there, you know. And we're gonna watch to see what happens tomorrow, because this guy, he does not quit, and trust me, he still hasn't quit. Okay, and that's how seriously people take it. This guy never conceded. Now, if he had conceded, if he had said a concession speech where he congratulates Joe Biden and he says, we lost, and he starts telling the truth, that would be different. But he never has done that. Okay? And he has never shown any remorse for the death of the several. Melania has. She made a statement talking about that, but he has not. Okay? His wife has, and his wife is not him. So, and as the president of the United States, you can't do that. Get the hell out of the office. Get the hell out of the office. Get as far away from the office as possible. Nobody wants to hear anything from you. Nothing. There is no excuse. Now, for his followers who are brainwashed and still, they're beginning to realize their claims were fallacious and he was lying to them. And some of them are right now shocked that he was lying to them. And some of them are coming out of it because they're realizing, one, he's not in power right now and he's not going to be in power. I want to say to these people, I hope you wake up. I hope you can see the reality. I'm not going to hate on you. I understand I've been tricked and conned into being brainwashed by con men before. And I ended up shelling out money I shouldn't have shelled out. Okay, but it was a learning experience. But I'll say this. You have to be careful about who you follow. Even now, you're seeing some of the, some of these militia coming out and in different states, and they're speaking about how they're about peace and about national dialogue, and they're trying to change the narrative and say it was Antifa. But you already did what you did, man, and people from your group already did what they did. So there's no turning back on you. We still gonna watch you strange-eyed. We're gonna always watch you coky-eyed, because we always know your agenda was to overthrow the government. So we don't want to hear shit from you. You know what I'm saying? You ain't qualified. No disrespect. But at the same time, to hear people talking about unity and so on, it's nice to hear. I mean, but we know you just trying to save your ass right now, because some of y'all are going to be put into prison for a long time to come, especially some of you motherfuckers that went and killed a police officer, bludgeoning him with the fucking national flag, okay? And then you want to talk about you're a fucking patriot. Patriot my ass. Patriot my ass. Patriot my royal ass. And don't tell me nothing about no Blue Lives Matter, because you didn't give a fuck about that blue life that you took and 50 others that you hurt. So get the fuck out of here with Blue Lives Matter. You don't qualify. All right? No, neither does your group. Okay? So, and you are now proven to be false. You are proven to be false, and you are proven to be a hater of American values, trying to overthrow the government. Okay? So that's all I got to say about that. And I'm a neutral guy. I got to pick sides. I defend certain Trumpers, and I will defend them to the end. I will defend people who are in the Republican Party, who who didn't follow Donald Trump, and some of them that followed Donald Trump and voted for him, I would defend them because I understand that's an innocent decision. I understand he did some good things, so that's why you voted for him again. But I want you all to realize now that the truth has come out that this is what you were voting for, a motherfucking dictator. And ain't no other way I want to put it. I'll put it raw and direct. You voted for a fucking dictator. That's what you voted for. I want you to know that now. Now, bearing that in mind, don't ever let this shit happen to you again. Don't ever trade off your freedoms because you're getting some sort of incentive or you're getting some sort of advantage. Whether it's religious or otherwise, we're grateful that the Supreme Court, at least they respect life. They're pro-life Supreme Court. They have certain values which are good. Nobody's saying no. They defend the Fourth Amendment, which is the right to bear arms. Nobody's saying no. It's good to see people outside there with their ammunitions and they're peaceful. Nobody says no. But here's my problem. You trade that off for a guy that was a danger to his country, got you guys to believe a lie, and then got you guys, some of you guys are going to go to jail for 20 years, maybe even 30 years for getting chained up by the wrong person. And then he does not, he never does stand for you and your cause. You're on your own after that. He chained you up. He incited you to violence. And guess what? He mightn't go to prison, but you go to prison. And I told y'all, I warned y'all about that. He has had a history of setting up people. And then after he has set you up and after you've done his dirty work, guess what? He disavows you. He disavows you. So some of y'all gonna learn this the hard way, but hopefully it wakes you up so you never fall for it again. Okay? Like all totalitarians, like all guys who try to radicalize people, I'm going to tell you as it is. And there's nothing wrong with being a radical, but a violent, extremist, radical person, because there's nothing wrong with being a radical. But there's a problem when you're a violent, extremist, radical. That you're looking to kill people. Something's wrong with that. Anytime you're thinking of killing someone, ask yourself this question. While it is a natural tendency, why don't we go out there and kill people? If I'm so angry with somebody, oh man, I feel like I want to kill this person. Why do we not do it? Why don't we go out on a killing spree? Because it ain't right. It ain't right. You're talking about murder or manslaughter. That is just not natural. So if you have to go to that point, if you start getting, somebody's firing you up so much, because that's what he did. He fired you guys up. A lot of you guys, you would not kill anyone. And by the way, there were people in that crowd who were saying, no violence. We are doing a peaceful demonstration. I heard a guy saying it. I heard a couple guys in the crowd saying that. But you couldn't tame that crowd, buddy. It was fired up. You couldn't tame them. But you guys were like angels in there. I hope you guys are fine and you didn't violate any laws. Anyway, the FBI will know what to do with you. But the point is, at the end of the day, the craziness that went down, and I believe it. I believe it with all my heart. If they had found Nancy Pelosi, they were going to beat that old lady and kill her because they beat a police officer and killed him, and he had on gear. They would have bludgeoned her to death. They had no respect for her because they went into her office, left a message, and defiled her office. Then they went up to the speaker, the vice president, the speaker of the Senate, and they desecrated that position. And they desecrated the House. So there's no doubt in my mind, they would have hung Mike Pence, and they would have beaten to death Nancy Pelosi or anybody they could have found. Thank God they didn't. Thank God they didn't. This thing could have been horrible. So there must never be something like this happening again. And I want all you Trump supporters, those people who voted for Donald Trump, when you wake up from your stupor, to realize what just went down. You stormed a federal building based on a lie. You stormed a federal building based on a lie. It would have been one thing if it was the truth. And even then, you don't kill nobody because of the truth. There are different ways to do it. One of the things is to expose their lies. You get proof, you get evidence of which you had none. So what the hell are you doing down there? And guess what? Donald Trump makes it worse for other people who really have credible cause. He makes it harder for those people who really have true grievances. So he has done nothing good for the country when you take everything into consideration. No disrespect to any one of you who voted for him. And I hope you see the signs. The signs are, one, a person who is not telling the truth. He keeps on exaggerating the truth. That's a dangerous person to have as an elected official or in office, because that person has no moral bearing. You want somebody who has character. That's why Bill Clinton got impeached. He got impeached because of his moral character. So why are you abandoning moral character and moral bearing for a tyrant? And Fox News has done has done a disservice out there. And everybody wants to lump all the other media houses with Fox News. No, we do not do that out here. Fox News, OAN have not been coming from a factual basis. If you're going to tell the news, then get factual basis. Otherwise, censor these people. Censor them. You cannot be using the name news channel and you are not coming from a factual basis. These people need to be censored. Now, when it comes to, people will say, well, what needs to be censored and what doesn't need to be censored? Because suppose they say the information that they're giving is not, it's suitable to one person. Easy. Fact check it. Fact check it. Okay, let me show you how you can censor somebody without breaking the rules. Or actually, sue them. Sue them. If they say something that is not in alignment with the truth and it pertains to you or what, sue them. That's how you censor them. They're doing what they're doing because it gives them money. They're getting paid. So sue them and take the money from them. It's easy. It's easy. That's what I mean by censor them. Now, with respect to YouTube channels and so on, people can say what they want to say and whatever. You can give them freedom of speech. But here's the thing: if somebody is giving dangerous language or dangerous speech, and what I mean by that is language that could possibly lead to the incitement of violence, right? Or insightful language, the law states that is a criminal offense. Okay? Now, if it's not a politician who's saying what they're saying, you need to be you need to regulate that, tap that in, and understand and have it fully well defined so that it can be put forward so that people are not exploited on channels where they're not doing that. Okay? Because you got to be careful. So, and that's it. You don't have to remove YouTube channels. You don't have to do all of that. Enforce the law that's there already. And if somebody is saying something that's inaccurate, that could be libelous, sue them. Sue them.
That's it. With respect to what Twitter did, if you violate a TOS, which is a Terms of Service Agreement, which Donald Trump did, even though he was president, he got a lot of leeway because he was president, and that was his way of making his media statements. But as he came to the end of his term, this horrendous thing that happened was an incitement to violence, and correctly, they closed his account down because their terms of service specifically speaks on that issue. There's freedom of speech up to the point of inciting violence. And okay, so you would say, was his speech insightful speech? Yes, it was. Why? Insightful speech doesn't have to specifically give all specifics of what it means. When you look at it in its totality, if it leads people to commit a violent act, it is it's insightful speech. Period. It's not just the speech, but it's the delivery of the speech. It's the context of the speech. They have to look at these things. You have to. And if you can trace motive based on the speech, then you have your grounds for insightful speech. And clearly his motive was exactly what panned out. How do we know this? His hesitancy to speak anything on the issue, and even in the midst of the coup that was going on, he was still jabbing at Mike Pence, still attacking Mike Pence. He wasn't concerned about de-escalating the situation until almost fully into the coup. Then he's telling them, de-escalate the situation. Because at that point in time, no one was in the Senate, no one was in the House. They were in secure locations. Then he's looking to de-escalate the situation because the coup attempt failed. So this guy straight up showed what he was about. He showed his hand. All you have to do is put it together and make the argument in a cohesive manner. And he's gone. He's not going to set another foot back into the political arena, at least officially. He can't run for office, those kinds of things. And strip him of all his presidential perks that he would get post presidency, particularly access to um, unclassified information. So that's most important. I think that's what I need to say. Taxpayers get the money saved. They have to pay for this president. He'll have to you know, do what he need to do to get through on his own. And in the meantime, he would be, he'd have a tremendous amount of court cases he has to deal with. He raised enough money. Hopefully, that will be enough for him to deal with that situation. But at the end of the day, this guy's been one of the most corrupt presidents ever. Most corrupt presidents ever. I mean, the corruption is just so innumerous. It's just so tremendous that people were so overwhelmed by it, and just the ridiculousness of his corruption. Um, that I mean, it's just terrible, terrible, horrific. So it's just happy that his term is over, and hopefully he'll be out of office, and we won't have to deal with this guy ever again. But we'll have to deal with the lasting effects that he has left on the country and heal some old wounds that he was able to open up. And also, bring to the fore some of the ugly about the country. So now that we all can see it, and the whole wide world could see it, and see the racism that happened with the police officer that killed George Floyd, and the fact that the system is imbalanced, that the police officers, since Emmett Till, justice has not really truly been served once, there was violence, white on black violence. And so this is something that we'll have to see how these tables turn when it comes to that. Um, and the issue of right privilege, in America, and so on and so on. So this is what I got to say. And this is a lot more than necessary. It was just about Mitch McConnell and the fact that I believe um, he's going to support the convicting of Donald Trump in impeachment. I believe, but we'll have to wait and see. Um, we have to see first of all, Joe Biden can be inaugurated as president of the United States by 12 o'clock. Whether he's inaugurated or not, he's going to be the president of the United States. In the inauguration ceremony is just a official ceremony. Glad to see Mike Pence there. Glad that Mike Pence it would be fantastic that Mike Pence is there to at least greet them and sort of hand over the keys of power. And the sad thing about it is, I believe Mike Pence did most of the footwork. to make Donald Trump look good. And it is what it is. But Mike Pence did his job, and he did it appropriately. So looking forward to seeing that happen, and also looking forward to the 10 Republican senators. I haven't forgotten you guys. Did an excellent job of impeaching Donald Trump and making it a largely bipartisan impeachment. And kudos to them. They're on the right side of history. And we will see how other things pan out. I believe the senators are going to do their due diligence and be on the right side of history. And I think the Republican Party is going to pick up right after that. So once Donald Trump is kind of flushed out, some of these other guys like Josh Hawley and all the other people who sided with Donald Trump are flushed out of the system, politically speaking, and not allowed to run for office ever again. This is very important. When you flush them out of Congress, they mustn't be able to be governors, mayors, nothing. Okay? They can go ahead and be business people in the communities. Some of them will be convicted of federal crimes and will be incarcerated. This is the price you pay for walking the line of unrighteousness and spewing lies. And some of them are going to end up in prison for it. And hopefully the political graveyard. And I'm not going to feel sorry for any of them because, you know, you do not, you do not, you do not do these things. You do not do these things. You don't be a traitor to democracy, you know. And so that will quell a lot of things. It'll also bring balance to the Republican Party. Hopefully, they get candidates. I think Liz Cheney would be a great leader of the Republican Party, and hopefully, who knows? She might be the next president, or maybe somebody else might be a president. But I do think we need people who are leaders who at least have the conscience to realize that you know you cannot um, condone evil destruction of your own democracy. Oh no, that is not allowed. And so we're looking forward to honorable people in the House, honorable people conducting themselves in the House. That's what we're looking for. And the dishonesty and the swamp, like never, maybe Donald Trump would have cleaned up the swamp. Maybe he'll clean up a lot of the swamp, but definitely, um, the the swamp when it comes to the American people benefiting and being a part of the process and being a part of America. This is what is needed. Jobs, technological jobs, programming, seeing young people in the electoral process, as well as, this infusion of uh, technology with the outside of technology, because everybody's always depending on the internet. But we need to also have a balance. We need to have a balance between being online all the time and coming off from online and meeting people, greeting people, and doing things it's so that we're not so dependent on the internet and on internet providers and on internet stuff that if something happens, we're like, oh my God, what am I going to do now? No, no, no. Get yourself involved in your communities. Get yourself involved with each other. And okay, so there's no more television and cable, or there's some cable, there's some television. But I'm just saying, so that you have a broader band and broader options. I want to show you guys something. So, and by the way, I hope Joe Biden reaches out to country folk and he deals with issues that country people also have, because there are certain counties of states and stuff which have been closed down because not COVID, sorry, because industries like the car industry, Detroit,
GM and all these things moved out of their places. So they've lost a lot of jobs from manufacturing. So hopefully that can address that issue. But I want to show you everything that you see inside of here that I cooked. I ate some food today. Almost everything came from my backyard. Almost everything. I'm able to sustain my own self with my own food. Isn't that cool? I don't have to go to the store and buy food. I want to let you guys know that's empowering. And you guys need to do the same. I was watching at a video my cousin sent me. She's in London. London's in a tremendous lockdown right now. I have to find out how my brother's doing. And one of the things you see, look above you right there. You see all that stuff right there? All that stuff right there is healthy stuff. There's fruits all over the place. This is these fruits. Anyway, but what I want to tell you guys is that the most important thing is that you take care of your family and your community. Be there for your community. That's the first step. It's nice to see people interested in the political process, and that's it can go further down that road. But it's very important that you take care of your community. Pruby Sister says, "Are you still friends with John Wonder?" Of course, yeah. Friends with John Wonder. I haven't talked with him in a long while, but he comes and talks to me. I guess about he sometimes presses me on some other issues besides DC, but DC, me and John Wonder, we agree on Wonder Woman 1984. We agree on certain things in the comics, and he's a brilliant mind when it comes to pulling up things from the comics and stuff. So, yeah, of course, I don't have anything against John Wonder. My hair's kind of out of place. I got tremendous afro. I haven't cut, as you can see, I haven't cut my hair in a long time. I have nothing against John Wonder, man. He's a good guy. So and just because we debate or I may speak on certain things doesn't necessarily mean I have anything against anybody out here. I don't think I have enemies like that. But I hope you guys have a great one. I will be back here talking boxing, but first, as soon as the inauguration ceremony is completed, and I know that Joe Biden is officially the president of the United States of America, and that's the first step towards me feeling a little bit better because I have lost a lot of sleep. I haven't really slept much, and I wasn't very comfortable about the situation that was going on overseas. I know how serious this thing is, and I know there are going to be groups and organizations that will continue to show their presence up in there and be a threat. But I do believe that, and we'll see what happens tomorrow, because tomorrow still is not necessarily going to be an uneventful day. But MLK Day was actually uneventful, which was really good to know. Martin Luther King Jr.'s Day, which is great. But we'll see what happens with the inauguration, and after the inauguration, we'll see what happens. And it's really up to FBI, intelligence, national security. We saw the bomb blast in Tennessee, and I think everybody should be on high alert now, understanding all of these events that we saw happen weren't events that just happened in isolation. They were events that are happening, and they will continue to happen because of this element. They'll attempt at least to make them happen. But it's really up to intelligence to cover these things and make sure that those situations are under control and wrap. And so hopefully the intelligence will be able to do that. Of course, we'll also have outside threats, and we'll also have outside threats that try to influence people on the ground as well. Uh, because Donald Trump did a really great job for Russia and China in misinforming the American public on many different things. Because of course he himself is an internet junkie. So we have to be careful about the information that we get online. Verify that information. Try to track it down. Make sure that it's accurate information. Okay. But what I was trying to tell you guys was that COVID-19, the same things that I told you guys about are very important, and it really do help. And a lady confessed to that she was a lady from Georgia. So let me just repeat the things again to boost your immune system to keep you healthy and strong, okay? First things, I talked about it. High potency selenium, 200 micrograms. These tablets are really good for you. I talked about this already, black seed oil. So even if you do get COVID, it doesn't affect you in a very, very negative way. And then, of course, your turmeric. Now they say that you should use turmeric with you should use turmeric with black pepper. Okay, so I can always go out there and get some black pepper, and I might do that tonight. It depends on what time it is. I also use jeera and I also use curry powder. Flavors food really nicely. All right, and then the other stuff. I have some hands of fig here that I have. These are green figs, and you boil these, and they really taste great. They're better than rice. I have some rice over in the corner. These are good, really good. Should have used the olive. I don't use a lot of oils either. My oily food is like nuts and grains. I prefer to get oils from there because the only reason. Okay, so let me explain something else to people. A lot of times people get diabetes or whatever because they're using so many carbs, carb upon carb upon carb. So if you control how much carbs you can use a lot of sweet things. For example, fruits. Fruits are great. They taste very sweet. They're actually better carbs than, say, for example, starches and stuff like that. So, like my rice or bread or the same thing I just showed you, green figs. They're all great, but they have carbs in them. And the carbs, along with sweet stuff, if you're using sweet stuff and carbs, you're really giving yourself a lot of carbs, a lot of sugars. So what you want to do is you want to control the amount of sugar you take into your body, as well as you want to control the amounts of protein you put into your body. And I use a lot of protein, so that's why the selenium comes in handy. And selenium is great for boosting your immune system. So basically, the article is showing that, and some other things they also talked about, so it's really good. But what I just told you also great for your immune system. And again, if you can get more natural things instead of a supplement, that's better for you. Okay, so I use my vitamin C comes from. This is a lime. I'm growing some lime trees, and hopefully I'll have a couple of them. So I'll have my own limes. But this is a lime. You can also use lemons. Lemons are much easier to use. And how I would tell you to use it in combination. Your lime or lemon, use it in combination with baking soda. Arm and Hammer, the usual thing. People know about Arm and Hammer. I gotta clean out this cover though. It's really a mess. All right, so, and then you need to have some sort of vegetable. Cucumber. It's great stuff. I use them all the time. So you can also season your cucumber by using it with lime or lemons. Lime or lemons with the cucumber is fantastic. Also, you squeeze the juice on the stuff. That's what I mean. Tastes great. And you can use, if you have moringa trees. I have a lot of trees. I have moringa trees. I have, mango trees. Mango season's coming around. I have, uh, I have thyme. I have oregano. I don't have sage right now, but I had sage. I have ginger. I'm outside. What I would tell people is grow your own food so you don't have to buy it from the store. So what I'm going to suggest to people and show them, I think I'll just go outside for a minute so I can show you this. Get a bucket. Okay, so I'm outdoors here. I want to show you something. So you can grow your own food in buckets in your home, or you can leave it outside, or people might steal it outside. If you have a back place, or if you're in an apartment, well, then you have to keep it on the windowsills or whatever. Buckets don't have to be this big. You can have smaller buckets or smaller buckets. Yeah. So you got these little ones. Let's see. You can't Let's see this. Let's go in the light. Okay. So, like this. See, I got a little cactus in there. All right. Okay, so you can put, and you have like little tomato trees and stuff like that. Yeah, you can get one like this. It's a bigger bucket. There you go. Smaller, and you can grow tomato trees. You can grow your cucumber trees. It'll be a vine. You can grow your scythe. You can grow thyme. You can grow little lemon trees, small little lemon trees. So it'll be short. You wanna have them short, so they'll bear the lemons, so they don't take up a lot of space in your house. You can grow, well, the banana trees. That's gonna be the fig trees, green fig. It's gonna be a little bit difficult. Those are a little bit bigger. You can grow little peas trees. Just let it grow in your house. Um, the point behind it is you can grow almost anything. Okay, you can grow almost anything in your own home. That's the best way to get organic food. But you'll need to, of course, get fruits and vegetables and stuff with seeds. And then just take the seeds, put it in there. And guess what? It might take a long time, but guess what? When it does come out and when it does bear, you're in good stead. And you can even do lemon tree. It doesn't matter. You can do lime, you can do whatever. I have my little trees outside and they're growing. And agriculture, you guys should really do that. But I hope that Joe Biden doesn't forget the farmers out there, the farmers in the countryside. They also need, I hope he remembers that with his economic plans and economic programs. I hope Bernie Sanders knows about them as well, to make sure they have markets and that they're supplying the American market with food and also overseas as well. So that's all I got for now on what you need. Hope you guys have a good one. Peace.